Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the Doctors of Running Virtual Roundtable, where we, a group of doctors of physical therapy, discuss the art and science to the stuff that we're putting on our feet, as well as talking about rehabilitation, running, injury, and whatever else you guys want to discuss with us. So we are here today. David, we're actually going to talk to him first. He had a 21 miler today, and it was a tempo. Part of it was a tempo, so he can tell you a little bit more about it. But you took out the Bondi X, which you've been putting through the paces. We have 2 reviewers on that review already, and DJ's going to add his thoughts. But tell us about that 21 miler today.
Yeah, so I mean, there wasn't any like specific tempo regions in the workout. It was just a steady 625 to 635 with hills. So that was the plan for today.
Just chilling, you know.
And we got out on the run. And I literally like turned to my training partners and my friends, and I'm just like, guys, I made a horrible mistake. I really like the Bondi X.
How far in was that when you knew you made the mistake?
2.
Ooh.
I had 19 more to go, fam. A little over that.
Wow. What was it about it that just like, because effort wise also, like what does that pace sit for you from an effort perspective?
I mean, normally it's pretty smooth. Like a lot of the long runs we do, if we're just trying to not be relaxed and hanging out, like if it's like an easy long run, we're usually going like 655 to maybe like 7 low. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit up tempo. Like you have to put a little bit of effort into it, but it's a cruise, you know, it shouldn't be crazy.
It's a steady state, but slower than your marathon pace.
Way slower. I mean, we'll do a 10-mile tempo run at like 5:30 something or 5, you know, like, yeah, we did. I did a 10-mile at 5:35 not that long ago. And like, so 620 is definitely backing off. It's not really a big workout day. I did a workout yesterday. Yeah. So, I mean, part of it might just be some fatigue from the legs yesterday. I ran sub 20 in the 4-mile yesterday. So it's like going from a workout to the steady long run or the slight up tempo, like, it was not agreeing with me today. And I tend to use it more as a recovery shoe anyways.
Yeah.
Kind of on my easy days and just using that rocker to just kind of roll through and not a care in the world on the pace.
Yep.
And usually it feels pretty good around that like 7-ish pace for me, that 7 to 8 minute range on my like easy recovery days. I really take them easy.
Yep.
And, yeah, today it was not having it, especially with the hills. Like running in the 620s, 630s, like through hills and stuff. That was rough.
Wow.
It was just heavy. It was just a lot of shoe to move. The turnover, there wasn't very much responsiveness in the forefoot. So
right.
I was having a little bit of a rough time there, but we got through it. Just finished up a nap not too long ago. So
solid. Well, today's episode is not sponsored by Good Earth Teas. This is the Sweet and Spicy by Good Earth. Again, not a sponsor, but I do enjoy that tea a lot. If you've had like Big Red gum, you know, like the kind of cinnamon gum that like makes your mouth water a lot, it's got hints of that and it's phenomenal. It's really, really enjoyable. Probably the most enjoyable tea I've had. So that's what I'm having tonight. But that's not important. We're going to jump into our quick tip section of the podcast. And the question from Quick Tips this week are talking about recovery. So for you guys, when it comes to after a big race, either long or short, what are your favorite recovery habits or exercises that you like to jump to?
Yeah, I don't do too many exercises per se, if I'm being honest, unless something's bugging me or something's really sore. I just take the time to recover, take a little bit of downtime. I usually do run the next day. I probably won't after the marathon, but after a half, I'll do like a real light shakeout just to quite literally shake the legs out and kind of flood some of that or wash some of that soreness away. And some just gentle motion. Just keep yourself moving within reason, but you don't want to do too much. You just did a giant effort the day before. So that's usually what I tend to do. And just try to eat a lot, recover well, get the fluids back in, get the electrolytes back in, vitamins, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Matt, what about you?
I totally agree with all of that. I think one of the things, depending on who you are, I mean, for most people, I think a walk later can be helpful just to shake the legs out just a little bit. It also, again, motion is lotion. Obviously, you don't want to overdo it. Don't go for some huge run. Depending on the race distance, I can occasionally go for like a short, like mile or two jog later. And it's not anything lightning speed. It's just like getting some blood flow going. Honestly, the biggest thing is nutrition. I think as soon as possible after finishing, as David said, like be really specific with, getting a good balance of carbohydrate and protein in right as soon as possible, and then getting a meal in within an hour or so is really important. And then fueling throughout the rest of the day is really important. And I notice my fueling strategies will totally determine how I feel the next day. Obviously, you're going to be sore. And then finally, sleep. A nap is probably one of the most powerful things, although I guarantee you that day, if you take a nap that day of the race, you'll wake up and probably feel terrible. But sleep is the best thing you can do for recovery. There's some really cool hormonal things that we're learning that get released in terms of recovery stuff. And so a nap, if you can, is awesome. It doesn't have to be super long. Even like 20, 30 minutes can be powerful. So sleeping, taking a nap is probably my favorite if I have time. I don't usually have time right now, but it's the thing I always daydream about.
Yeah. So what would you guys say to people if they're running a marathon? Like, how much time do you recommend taking off after like a max effort marathon?
I'm going to let Matt take that one. I haven't done my first competitive marathon yet, so
right.
I'm going to cross that bridge when it comes.
Yep.
It's going to be very dependent on who you are. There are some people that it's going to take them weeks and they need that to recover from the amount of effort. Other people recover really fast. I've been lucky that I've been able to get back running within a couple of days. Obviously, it's not fast and I can't do anything fast for a while, but I try to get moving, whether it's walking, pretty much as soon as possible. So within a couple of days, I'm back. But other people, I suggest take some time. Let your body recover, but stay active, cross-train, do something else. But also know, how soon you can get back is going to depend on you. I'd really encourage you to be very, very careful about how quick you get back to anything speed related. We know that it can take up to 3 months, if not longer, to truly recover from a competitive marathon effort, and competitive is just going to depend on that person. So running is one thing, another competition, and speed or up-tempo stuff is a totally different thing. So I'd say, for your recreational runner, I would take a week or two of cross training or walking, and then ease your way back into running. Because again, that is something you do not want to try to bounce back really fast from. Give your body some time.
Definitely.
And definitely don't be one of those people who like schedules another rate, like another 5K or 10K a week out. Don't do that. That's how you end up seeing us.
That's also how you become Emma Bates, though.
That's true. Although I would encourage people not to do what the elites do. That's a very different situation.
Yeah, they're different. They're different for sure. I'm just coming off I'm still in kind of a little bit of recovery, I feel like, for me. And it's in processing this, and Matt, you talked about how long it can take, like even up to 3 months for the body to fully recover. I think that keeping in mind that, especially for new marathoners, which would include myself, coming off of a marathon healthy doesn't mean you're out of the woods yet. Your mileage and the pounding for like stress related injuries, like stress fractures, that's all still there. And so just continuing to push is probably not in your best interest. I took a strict 2 weeks off after mine. And even when I got back, I could still feel like I was kind of slogging along. And so I'm, like Matt said, it can take a long time for some people to recover. And I'm in that realm. Some things that I've loved doing in the meantime, you guys hit a bunch of them. I think in addition to what you've said, and actually not running for 2 weeks allows you to sleep more, because you have time.
Sleep's huge.
So that's kind of nice. But I've also just like loved some like soft tissue work. Like I usually am not a huge foam roll guy, but I've loved the foam roller during my recovery these last 2 weeks. And then we have a Theragun at our clinic, and that's just felt really good. Who knows what it's doing? The evidence for that kind of thing is not really there, but it feels nice. It just feels like, oh, my calf's a little whatever today, so just hit the calf, and it just feels just flushing it with activity that's not pounding, because that's kind of what that vibration does, is going to promote vibration, which is heat, and then blood flow and all that kind of stuff. So stuff like that's been nice. And then I've also done like really after like the first week, I started doing like foundation exercises again. So not even like squats or anything, but like no weight clamshells, like just to activate like small muscles that I felt like I may have been neglecting by the end of my training, because I was just so fatigued that I was just compensating all over the place. Like going back and hitting like really light foundational exercises in that second week. No band resistance, no weight, anything like that, but just looking at those small muscles and form and control. So I've enjoyed that part too, because it made me feel like I was being productive in the midst of not running. It felt like, okay, I'm working towards when I can come back. And then this has been my first week back running. It's been nice. So
it's kind of weird when you take any downtime, you feel unproductive, right? Like, isn't that strange?
Even though,
like, or
go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea to, and Nathan mentioned this, a great idea. If you are taking some downtime, like use that time, as David said, it can feel like you're not doing anything, but use that time to start putting some building blocks in there, whether it's some, revisiting some foundational exercises or doing some gentle drills or stretching out a little bit, getting some mobility work. There's always things to be done. So, you can make use of that time when your body is recovering.
And there's more to life than running. And
Totally.
so, like,
I don't believe that.
Go be
Just kidding.
go be a human,
Yeah.
with people that you love and other stuff you love to do. Like, take extra time and like use it well with the people that you get to be with. So, but that's not so much doctors running related, even though it is. We talk to people about all that stuff.
The psychology behind letting your brain also recover, and please remember, you're pounding your body. Your body's going to recover, but you cannot forget your brain also needs to recover as well. Those are two integrated but separate entities that both need their recovery time. So, if you're feeling burned out on running, it might be time to like either switch things up, or you might need a break. That's okay.
Mm-hmm. Totally is. Cool. Well, I just wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on kind of what you like to do when you're recovering. There's a lot more we can dive into this topic. So if people have questions about recovery that you want us to dive into from a little bit more of a research basis, you could drop those to us either on Instagram, through Messenger, go on Facebook, our email, doctorsofrunning@gmail.com. Just reach out to us. Love to talk about it.